Secret time. Alright, let's open it up. Apple cable. For those of you who care about this stuff, you'll probably already know what this is, or at least have a general idea, and that is the iPod. There it is. And specifically, the one that started it all. As you can see from looking at the back, which is blurry, this is a first-gen iPod. I am really struggling to focus this, man. No, I do not. There we go. It's on. Now I'm actually going to be able to focus on this. I just can't tell because it's so shiny. Oh, and it's off. There we go. And I'm kind of going to be comparing this with... I grabbed this guy. They're basically identical, except for one feature pretty much. Except this one is in much worse condition and much less valuable. But basically, what they changed between the two of these guys is this wheel. See how this moves? You can see my, like... I don't know how to show it. It looks like it's not moving, but it is actually moving. Oh. Yeah, okay, it moves. Just trust me, okay? It moves. And then there's also the back, which you can see is definitely different. This has the more contemporary font, and this is the weird Apple font that they had for a long time. Since, like, the Macintosh came out, or whatever, I don't know. And yeah, but, like, other than that, it pretty much is the same, and then there's the top, where they kind of changed it up a little bit. This is uncovered FireWire port. The same port, but this one's covered, and it's kind of finicky, because, oh, crap. Like this, it's cutting into the thing. Over time, it's gonna fall off. Which is why I don't do that, but I have to do it for the video. So, there you go. That's pretty much the only difference between the two. I'm pretty sure the hold switches... No, the hold switches are not the same. But yeah, they're pretty much the same. Alright, so after spending way too much time looking at the charger and just talking about completely random stuff that I'm probably going to cut out of the video... Let's actually talk about the important stuff and get my knee out of the freaking frame. Okay, let's start with the kind of backstory on this iPod. It was basically, so Steve Jobs had kind of, like, just came back. I think he released a couple products. He released, like, the G4 lineup and all that stuff, but it was really, like, you know, this was more of the professional premium market, and, that was great and all, but, like, Apple wasn't really doing that incredible until he released the consumer device, because listening to music was kind of just awful, like, portable music. It was just not great, because CDs, I'll bring a CD. I keep hitting my camera. Alright, so this is not a CD, but, well, maybe it is. I think it's probably a DVD, but, this is basically what it, you know, the general size. You all know what this looks like. This isn't great to bring around, because you can't fit this in your pocket, and it's really, like, delicate, and the only mounting point, the only mounting point is this little hole in the middle, and it just spins on it, like that. And so you can't really secure the device by, like, going like this, by, like, holding these sides down, or else it can't spin, which is a problem, because if you bump something in the car, like you're listening to music, and you're in the car and you go over a pothole, it just, and you know, your music skips, and you're out of, you know, your trance in your music and stuff. So people created well, this is already digital. The invention of completely digital music, known as like an MP3 or whatever, an audio file. They created MP3 players, and they were cool and all, but they were really big. I'll pull up a picture of one. They're big and they're annoying, but then Apple made a very cool one, very cool MP3 player. It was called the iPod, and this is it right here. And it can, here, listen to the clicky. Really cool. And it can play music. And it has battery. And the biggest thing was how much storage it had. Alright? So here, normal MP3 players had, like a couple megabytes. Well, this guy came in with 5 gigs, bro. 5 gigs. So, Apple had this partnership with Toshiba or something. I don't know. Toshiba invented like a really, really, really tiny hard drive. And perspective-wise, it's about that size of the iPod. I think I have one. 1 second. Okay, I found it. Okay, here's the hard drive. And for perspective, there. It's pretty small. This is one for a 5th gen, which I have somewhere, but it's basically the same size. Others are slightly thicker. This one has a thicker version that's 20 gigabytes, which is crazy. And yeah, it's very thick. But and it has like, I don't know. It's a thick hard drive, which makes the iPod even thicker. But no matter. Continuing on with the story. So, MP3 players at the time, very small because they used they used solid state storage. Or at least I think so. Something like that. Something along the lines. They didn't have a hard drive in it because hard drives were not small enough. And then Toshiba invented this guy, and Apple was like, whoa, that's rad, okay? I want to buy it and put it in an MP3 player, and they did it, and it was really cool. And they also, a little bit of a sidetrack, they just put this in a MacBook to make it thinner, and made it very expensive, but it was very slow. It's called the MacBook Air. If you didn't know what that was. It used an iPod hard drive. It was great. But so yeah, they basically just like blew away the competition because they had a lot more storage than other MP3 players. Okay, so this wasn't super popular when it first came out, but when this one came out, the 2nd gen, it had some improvements and stuff. This didn't have any like fatal flaws. From what I know, it was actually a pretty decent product, which is kind of surprising. But when this guy came out, they released support for Windows, and it was really good. So they sold a lot of them. And then they made the iPod Mini, and then they made the iPod Nano. I have an iPod Nano right here. Let me show you. iPod Nano. Very cool device. So yeah, they just kept making more and more iPods, and well, that's kind of what made Apple really huge. Here, this is supposed to turn on. Oh, here we go. It's on. This is kind of how it's evolved over time. I have the newest iPod Nano, but I don't want to get it right now. That'll probably be its own video because it's actually a pretty cool device. But yeah, I mean, Apple kind of like just won, they won. And you can see it on their charts. Like after that iPod was made, like their stock went up, and they're a multi-trillion-dollar company, and it's they won. They won at the game of companies. And yeah, that's the 1st gen iPod. It's a pretty cool device. I guess we can go to the features now, but yeah, I mean, that's the iPod. That's where it came from, and it was actually really cool device. It looks really good even today. People probably don't agree with me, but like after having this for a while, it just looks so cool. Like over time, it looks cooler and cooler. Oh, one improvement that they did make is they made the screen a lot better. See this, you can even tell when it's out of focus that the screen is bad. You can see 1, 2, 3 LEDs. It's pretty garbage, and the screen isn't even remotely white. And it plays music. I've got some music on there. I'm not gonna play it because it doesn't have a speaker, but it does have this really cool thing called game. And there it is. There's the game. Oh, I failed. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's just brick. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's the iPod. Pretty awesome device. Like, this was really the product that made Apple the big company. Macintosh, that was cool and all, but nobody really cared, and it wasn't quite fast enough, so people didn't use it that often. That's what a lot of people think about that product. It wasn't as great as it seems. It was still really cool. I have the hiccups, sorry. And then the iMac G3, that was also a very important product. It like saved Apple from, bankruptcy, because it was actually a decent product for once, and that was the first computer that Steve Jobs created when he came back, I'm pretty sure. And then he shortly after made the iPod, which is it was a pretty important device. I think that's enough for this video. I actually kind of gave a little bit of a crap because it's actually a pretty cool subject. And yeah, there's the iPod.